For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example, so that you should follow in his steps. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. When he was abused, he did not return abuse. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but he entrusted himself to the one who judges justly. He himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that, free from sins, we might live for righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. For you were going astray like sheep, but now you have returned to the shepherd, the guardian of your souls. Hi, I'm Steve Lamb. I'm the pastor of the Albright United Methodist Church, and I'm doing this video blog. This is the first one I've ever done, so I'm a little bit nervous in doing it as well. I want to thank my wife Beverly for being my videographer today and a little bit of a set designer for me. I've been thinking about going into Holy Week here and thinking about the cross of Jesus Christ. And I remember a story that my father told me when he was in World War II. He was stationed at Schofield Barracks in Oahu, and it was the morning that the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And they also came and shot up Schofield Barracks quite a bit. And he said that morning there was a lot of excitement going on, of course a lot of confusion, and a lot of anger as well. He was there as they found the plane that was shot down of the Japanese, and how they were taking the body of the young pilot out of the wreckage. And he remembered one of his officers walking over to the body of that Japanese pilot and striking it across the face with a some sort of switch or riding crop. My dad says, thinking about it now, I thought, how petty of a thing to do, to strike the face of a dead man. I think about Jesus going to that cross for us, how petty it had to have been for those who hurled insults into the face of a dying man. How petty indeed. Come down from that cross if you're the Son of God. You can destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Save yourself now, that we may believe. Words meant to hurt. Words meant to hurt not the flesh, but to hurt deep within. And that is what hurtful words does. They hurt us deep into our hearts, into our very being. The thing is, the amazing thing about Jesus, he doesn't return those hurtful words with any words of hurt himself. He doesn't puff himself up in some way and say, I'm doing this for you, and when I'm resurrected, you're all going to pay. No, that's not what Jesus says. Jesus turns his eyes up to heaven and says, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Forgive them. And the truth was, they really didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know that they were crucifying the Son of God. They didn't know that what they were doing was going to save us all through the blood that Jesus shed on the cross. They didn't know because they were in a frenzied state of anger and madness. They didn't know. But Jesus knew that through his sacrifice, we would all be saved. I don't know how he could do it. I don't know how he could go from the stings of the whips that he suffered and the abuse he took, and verbal and physical. I don't know how he could look through those swollen eyes and speak from that parched throat those words, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do, but I am awful thankful that he did. I am awful thankful for Jesus Christ. If that isn't love, folks, I don't know what is. God loved us so much. He gave us Jesus Christ that we may be saved. Now when I look back on the grudges I may have or the judgments I have sent on others, when I've looked down my nose in some sort of righteous way, how petty, considering what God did for me through his Son Jesus. We have the love of Christ. We look at the pain that he endured, that we could be saved. Maybe we should start treating people a little more like Christ would want us to, with forgiveness and love. Well, that's my first video blog. I pray you have a blessed Holy Week. Have a wonderful Easter. And I hope to see you on Sunday. God bless you all.